Will everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lights, drills. Physical boys, set. All right. Quick, march.
Please be seated. Good evening. My name is John Meyer. I'm the slightly wounded president of Hodges University, and welcome. Dr. Ziamek, EMS faculty, special guests, our graduating class, and their family and friends. Good evening and welcome to our paramedic pinning ceremony. I'm going to go like this when it's time to applaud because I only have one hand right now. As paramedics, you will help patients that have medical issues, both obvious and not so obvious. I'll start with the obvious. I had to work really hard to earn the right to wear this amazing and very uncomfortable contraption. And sadly, this is not my first time having shoulder surgery, and it unfortunately is also not going to be my last. I'm ever grateful that I have just two shoulders because I'd be doing this probably the rest of my life. And I'm also grateful that if anything should happen to me here tonight, there's about 24 people or so who are prepared to jump in and help us just steps away. The less obvious thing might be if I thought about my LDL cholesterol. And the HDL is the good one, the LDL is the bad one. And in my particular case, there's a fair amount to think about there too. So be ready. I can't imagine a better place to be right now than here, surrounded by all of these professionally trained paramedics. I know that our faculty have provided you with both the theoretical and the practical training that you need to really make a positive difference in our community. I also know that the community will come to rely on you to make that difference. Not many people get to answer the typical, "So, honey, how was your day?" question with, "Oh, you know, I brought a man back to life after he suffered a heart attack." And that's pretty cool stuff. You are all first responders in the truest sense of the words. You're there within minutes of that call for help to face situations that most of us, including me, cannot imagine. I'm thinking of medical emergencies in the home, or in a doctor's office, or after an automobile or industrial accident, or even in a seemingly innocuous and pleasant place like a day at the beach. You all get called to those scenes during sunny mornings and afternoon thunderstorms and moonless, foggy nights. You're there for people when they need you the most and when they're going to be at their worst. I'm going to let you in on a little secret that only about half the world at this point knows. Years ago, I owned an auto repair and towing company, and occasionally I would go out and drive one of the trucks. When we set the company up, I deliberately stayed away from 24-hour towing and on-call police department lists because the thing that I didn't want to have to deal with was the accidents, the ones where people got injured. And on the few that I did find myself responding to, by the time I got there, the people were out of the cars, they'd been transported, and that was that. All I really had to do was hook up the car and tow it away. But I found those tows to be extremely difficult because even if there was no physical evidence of the calamity that had occurred inside the car, and that wasn't always the case, sometimes there was physical evidence, I could only really imagine what it was the occupants of those cars faced. How long did that wait for help seem? How long were they in there? How long were they waiting? How long did it seem? How scared were they? And how unsure of their situations did they feel? And then I could really then only imagine what the first responders, that's you all if you haven't been following along, what you're going to have to deal with. And I knew that I simply wasn't made of stuff that stern. So what I did was go into higher education and become a university president, far easier. As an added benefit, I don't have to tow cars anymore, which is a plus. What you all have trained to do is important, and what you have trained to do is special. Your place in our society is special because not many of us have what it takes. And tonight, this evening, this event is a time of celebration for you, our paramedic graduates. This is all about celebrating you. Please join me in welcoming our EMS program director and faculty, Dr. Jeff Ziamek. Jeff.
Wish they would have broke your leg so I wouldn't be just... That was a joke. It really was a joke.
You understand that your contract is pending. Yeah.
You know, with all the horrific stuff that's happening around the world, boy, it really puts a smile on my face when that processional comes in. It gives me chills and it makes me smile, and I feel good inside. So thanks for that. That was pretty special stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we have all heard the phrase, "It takes a community." Several individuals were part of our EMS educational community, and if not for them, this graduation ceremony would not be possible. President Meyer, your passion and commitment to workforce planning, development, and training continues to be recognized by our Tri-County region. Thank you for your continued support. That's pretty good stuff. Thank you. Dr. Rinconis is our Provost and Executive Vice President of Academic Affairs. Dr. Rinconis, thank you for all your guidance and always allowing us to stop in unannounced to get your insights. We appreciate the resource support that you're constantly giving us, and thank you for all of that. Chief DeSico, Chief Johnson, Chief Arfman, Chief Thompson, thank you for having the confidence in Hodges University to train and educate your employees as Florida paramedics. Our partnership and collaboration will create lasting impressions for years to come as the newest additions to your paramedic team treat your community populations. Professor Mike McSheehy, Mike spent 30 years as an EMT paramedic lieutenant at Lee County EMS. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, that Mike has not experienced in the realm of patient care. He gives our students real-life experiences that will last a lifetime. I am honored to call Mike a colleague, a peer, and most of all, a devoted friend. Thank you, Mike. We also took advantage of the tremendous resources that Lee County EMS provided in allowing us to utilize their employees as our laboratory adjunct instructors. So for the administration team at Lee County EMS, thank you. Guys and gals were absolutely awesome. I certainly wanted to save the best for last. This young man has given his heart and soul in making sure that our students were well prepared for their certifying national registry exam. He taught every single lecture class. He overlooked lab coordination, communicated with Lee Health for clinical and operating room privileges, and was able to schedule students to complete over 300 hours of ride time at Lee County EMS and Lehigh Fire. I wish I had time to go into all the small stuff that this man has accomplished for our program, but ladies and gentlemen, we'd be here till midnight, and I know you don't want to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is worth giving this young man a warm, well-deserved round of applause. Chief Adam Thompson. I also know that there will continue to be a strong family support for our graduates as they continue to venture forward with their emergency medical service, fire, and healthcare career pathways. To all of you, thank you for allowing your husbands, wives, moms, dads, sons, and daughters, aunts, and uncles to be part of our graduating class. It's pretty special stuff, so thank you. There are a few things that I would like to think about for our graduates. Hopefully these suggestions will be meaningful to you as you continue your career journey as paramedics and paramedic firefighters. Almost all patients believe that they are sick. It is not your job to convince them otherwise. Just be compassionate and empathetic. Your life outside EMS is more important than your life within EMS. Please go home sometimes. Recognize and admit when you screw up. You will not always have the answers, so there is no need to make things up. There is no incentive for excellence. Choose to be excellent for yourself and for your patients, and do not expect a reward for it. Have a reason for everything that you do. Career paramedics are truly special people. Learn everything you can from them. And most importantly, especially in today's day and age, be safe. You have family and friends that love you, and you need to be there for them. President Meyer often reminds our faculty and staff members that students don't come to Hodges University for what we do. Rather, they enroll at Hodges University for how we do things. President Meyer, I'm so happy that we can now add another 23 students to our alumni membership. Graduates, this is a time for bold measures, and you are the generation that will create fabulous changes and positive influences. That paramedic certificate of yours is a hammer. Graduates, go build something with it. Congratulations. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to welcome Division Chief Adam Thompson to the stage.
Thanks, Jeff. Almost felt like you meant that. Distinguished faculty, I'd like to thank you. Representatives from Lee County EMS leadership, Lehigh Acres Fire Control District, thank you for coming. Now I have a quick little activity. If you're the spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend of one of them, please stand up. Thank you. We're very grateful. Thank you. Please sit down. They all, had to endure my schedule or our schedule, and it was pretty trying, I'm sure. But I can't imagine how trying it was for all of you that had to spend a lot of hours without them, taking care of your children, taking care of things around the house, getting things done, and without your support, they couldn't have done it. That's true for the rest of their families as well. Thank you all for coming. This past few weeks, I've been experiencing a sense of uncertainty, something that's become familiar as my students graduate. I've started questioning whether they're prepared to be the paramedics that will have a successful career. Have we equipped them with all of the knowledge necessary? Have we armed them with a comprehensive understanding of pre-hospital medicine? Have I done my part? I realize that I might have forgotten a few things, and if you all don't mind, I'd like to give them their last class right now. There's not going to be a written exam, but I assure you, at some point, you will be tested. Lesson 1. Every good clinician has 2 key traits, passion and compassion. Hopefully, we've done a good job instilling that passion for pre-hospital medicine, a desire to always learn more, a need to perfect your practice. Passion is what keeps you motivated to be the best. You have to be passionate about paramedicine. You also must be compassionate. Empathize with your patients, even when other people don't think they deserve it. You'll be there at their worst moments. Their dignity is in your hands. Don't lose their trust. Be the best part of their worst day. Put compassion over knowledge, their feelings over your hubris. No one remembers the smartest medical provider they ever had, but they'll remember the nicest. Maya Angelou put it best, they won't remember what you say or even what you do, but they'll remember how you made them feel. Exceptional care is holistic. Be exceptional. Lesson 2. Sir William Osler famously said, medicine is a science of uncertainty and an art of probability. Once a paramedic reaches a certain level of experience and knowledge, they develop their most useful tool, the gut feeling. Many medics have it. Great paramedics listen to it. That feeling isn't something that we taught you, but something you've developed on your own. Remember that the right thing to do is almost always going to require more work than the wrong thing. Put in the work. Your patients deserve it. While the right thing to do is often harder up front, it's much easier in the long run. You worked hard to become a paramedic, now work hard to stay one. Let your bare minimum be somebody else's maximum effort. Lesson number 3, be an expert. Your patients expect it. Be their best chance, not their only option. When they called 911, they expected a professional to respond. Fulfill that expectation. This doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. I assure you, you will. It is how a medic responds to those mistakes that separates the cretins from the great ones. Accept your screw-ups and the subsequent repercussions. Learn from them. Share your mistakes to teach others. They say if you spend 15 minutes a day studying your craft, you'll be in the top 5% of the industry. I say, why not study for 30? We didn't just train you to be paramedics. We trained you to be the best, so don't let us down. Lesson 4, your final lesson. At the end of the day, kiss those you love and let the wisdom about the finite impermanence of life remind you to cherish the more important things. Never let a chance to show the ones you care about most how much they mean to you pass by. Be present when you're with them. Live in the moment. Thank you, students, for showing up and putting in the work. I am truly going to miss seeing you in my classroom. One day, you'll have a chance to appreciate the culmination of your efforts. The tones will drop. You'll have the highest privilege. You'll have someone's life in your hands. The call will go as smoothly as possible. Your knowledge and your experience will prove useful and provide that patient with obvious benefit. Sweat will drip from your brow as you put in the work. Eventually, your efforts will prove worthy as your patient improves. You will provide them with expert care throughout transport and patient transfer, and you will deliver an astonishingly accurate and precise report. You will rejoice with fellow crew members. At some point, you'll wipe that sweat from your brow. You'll have a sensation that your professor is looking over your shoulder. And they're going to look right at you and say, adequate work. We have a few awards to hand out very quickly. The class president, Jacqueline Riera. The highest achievement, which is a top grade over all 3 semesters, Dylan Pantoja. Okay. Dylan, don't go anywhere. And we'll get a chance to get Jackie back up here. So we also have the ALS competition team, and we have award certificates for all of them. The competition team goes around to different ALS competitions and tries to prove that they're the best in these very rigorous medical competitions where you have several patients, sometimes 7, 8, 9 patients, and you have 2 other team members to help you out. We had 2 competition teams this year, and they did phenomenal, so thank you. So I would like to invite back up Jacqueline Riera. Dylan Pantoja is also on the team. Thomas McCauley, Oliver Jones, Jeff Vasquez, and Ralphie Santos. I have Jeff. I'll let them take it. There's Ralphie's. Has everybody got one? Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Thompson. Please join me in welcoming Lawrence Arfman, the Division Chief of the Lehigh Acres Fire Control and Rescue District.
Thank you. I had a few ups and downs on the way over here, and after Adam's speech, I know why, because I'm not really a good public speaker, and he is. And my Chief Delalo over here reminded me in the hallway, hey, when was the last time you actually spoke in front of a crowd? So bear with me, okay? And that's why I wore a jacket, just to show up Adam over here. Okay, so I want to thank Hodges for the opportunity to speak tonight. It's truly an honor. I want to thank all the family and friends that supported the graduates over the last year. Without your support, this would not be possible. I would like to thank Chief Delalo for supporting the class, my friends at Lee County EMS for the partnership and getting this class together. To you guys. You started this journey over a year ago. You walked through the doors of Hodges not knowing what to expect. You put in long hours of studying and time away from your friends and family. However, you made it, so I say congratulations. Your journey as a paramedic has just begun. Next, you will move through the credentialing process within your organizations. You will continue to fine-tune your craft. As you move away from working with your FTOs and command your own units, I ask a few things for you to remember. Continue learning. Absorb as much information from your seasoned colleagues, your training staff, and your mentors. Read articles, attend conferences. Continue moving forward. The pre-hospital medical field is ever evolving, and we need to evolve with it. Be compassionate. Remember that a smile and kind words go a long way. Either at the bedside or in the middle of the street with a person in need, smile, reassure, and be kind. That may be all they need. So be kind and be compassionate. Be a mentor. Spread the knowledge. You are now the next level of pre-hospital providers. Spread what you've learned. Help others that aspire to become the best EMTs and paramedics. And lastly, I just say, be great. You are the future of pre-hospital medicine. I congratulate you.
President Moore, you may want to take note of this because the two taller people left the mic down for me.
That's part of that be kind thing.
That's not funny. Chief Arfman, thank you. This year, the class selected 2 students to speak on their behalf. Please join me in welcoming our first student speaker and class president, Jacqueline Riera.
Hello, welcome. Thank you all for being here today. My name is Jackie. I'm the youngest of the class, the only girl, and our class president. This started as an email of interest, and within a few days we were starting paramedic school. And what a long road it has been. It's a bittersweet feeling that it's all coming to an end, but we leave here today ready to take on the next steps in our careers, filled with new beginnings and new challenges. Thank you to all the instructors who spent their days off answering my 10,000 questions, dealing with our nonsense, and sharing hard-learned lessons that we're fortunate enough to not have to learn on our own. And to our lead instructor, Chief Thompson, thank you for pushing each of us to our full potential and ingraining in our brains that every EKG comes with a patient. We all have grown so far since day one, not only with knowledge that we will use and build on for the rest of our careers, but in friendships as well. I've never met a group of people that are more supportive. I mean, have you ever gotten a round of applause just for showing up on time? Because I have. Or for showing up late, or for showing up at all. But all jokes aside, the real support came from our families for putting up with the late night studying, the never-ending monotone lecture videos, and allowing us to be absent for almost a full year to be able to meet all the hours necessary to stand up here today and say that we made it. We couldn't have done it without the constant encouragement from everyone who means the most to us. So let's give one more round of applause for everyone who supported us through this journey.
Thank you, Jackie. It's now my pleasure to welcome our second student speaker and class vice president, Oliver Jones.
Good evening. That's my daughter saying she doesn't want me up here. So that tells you how this is going to go. All right. So good evening. My name is Oliver Jones, and I was one of the vice presidents of this paramedic cohort. First, I'd like to say congratulations to the congratulating class. This past year has been rough to say the least, with COVID making not only our work lives harder, but throwing curveballs in the plans for clinicals and ride times, adding additional stress to an already stressful time. Medic school is hard enough, but we sucked it up and managed to get through it. The amount of dedication that we've all committed over the past 12 months has taken its toll, not just on us, but also our friends, families, kids, and loved ones. This class has taken us away for hours and sometimes days at a time. And without the constant love and support from each and every one of them, none of this would have been possible. And I'm sure I speak for all of my classmates in saying thank you to everyone who went on this journey with us. The amount of responsibility that we will carry onto our trucks only comes to those who have dedicated a significant amount of time to learn and practice these skills in preparation for the day that we will have to be the line between a life saved and a life lost. After being in a small room with all of you for the past year, I trust any of you, maybe except Mickey, but no, I'm kidding, Mickey, I'm kidding. With my family. The bonds made this year will last throughout our careers and the rest of our lives as we go into the world. I'm kidding, Mickey. You did all right, you did adequate. At the beginning of this class, we were just EMTs trying to better ourselves and progress in our careers. And now we're a group of exhausted paramagicians who will always be connected through the trauma bond I call medic school. To my classmates, it's a cheesy way to end this, but you guys, we did it. We learned a lot, like Joel's triad, and that the funniest things are found on FISDAP, and that Dudley, who's not here, likes to swear, and that being an EMT may not sound so bad anymore. All joking aside, the last year we've spent hours upon hours acquiring a few new tools in our toolboxes, and tonight we can say we're finished. And from here on out, we're ready to use our newfound knowledge and skills, and I look forward to running into you guys at the hospitals and hearing the stories of your new ventures running your trucks and treating patients as the most adequate group of medics to ever hit the road. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. As both of our students mentioned, it takes the love and support of family and friends to succeed in paramedic school. As a show of their appreciation, our students will be presenting a flower to that person. Class, as I call your name, please come forward to select a flower and then take it to your family member or friend and then return to your seat. Paramedic Jason Carnes. Paramedic Nicholas Galipsy. Paramedic Logan Halslander. Paramedic Oliver Jones. Paramedic Angela LaRussa. Paramedic Vincent Lopez. Paramedic Lester Martinez. Paramedic Thomas McCauley. Paramedic Brian Olive. Paramedic Dylan Pantoya. Paramedic Richard Randall. Paramedic Jacqueline Riera. Paramedic Joel Rivas. Paramedic Rogelio Rodriguez. Paramedic Rafael Santos. Paramedic Jonathan Simon. Paramedic Adam Summer. Paramedic Jeffrey Vasquez Rodriguez. Paramedic Michael Zuiza. Thank you. And now it's the time to present the paramedic pins to the class. I have quite a few folks that I think are very, very important VIPs that I'd like to call up here to help present our pins. President Meyer, Dr. Rincones Gomez, Chief Adam Thompson, Chief Arfman, Chief DeLallo, Chief DeSico, Chief Johnson, and Mike McSheehy. Please join me to present the pins and certificates to the class of 2022. Teresa Araki, our Vice President of Marketing and External Communications. Will you call their names? Yeah. I think we're going to go front. Okay.
Sorry, Dr. Zymek, I had to move the mic up again. So the moment we've all been waiting for, class of 2022, when I call your name, please come up and receive your well-deserved pin. Paramedic Jason Carnes. Paramedic Nicholas Gillespie. Paramedic Logan Holslander. Paramedic Oliver Jones. Paramedic Angelo La Rosa. Paramedic Vincent Lopez. Paramedic Lester Martinez. Paramedic Thomas McCauley. Paramedic Brian Olive. Paramedic Dylan Pantoja. Paramedic Richard Randall. Paramedic Jacqueline Riera. Paramedic Joel Rivas. Paramedic Rogelio Rodriguez. Paramedic Rafael Santos. Paramedic Jonathan Simon. Paramedic Adam Summer. Paramedic Jeffrey Vasquez Rodriguez. And Paramedic Michael Zabaza. Let's give the class of 2022 a big round of applause. And we'll bring the rest of our stage speakers up. And everyone on the stage except me can be seated. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Rigo Rincones Gomez, our Provost and Executive Vice President of Academic Affairs, to the podium.
Look, thank you, Teresa. Let's all give them another well-deserved round of applause. They all have worked really hard this past year so that they can earn the title paramedic. Throughout this journey, you have had the support of many, starting with your family and friends, then the support of your employer so that you could work, attend classes, and do the rides alone. Here you have had encouragement and support of our faculty who freely share their knowledge and experience with you. You have also had the support of our staff who have worked behind the scenes throughout this past year and leading up to tonight and this celebration. You will always be part of the Hodges family, now as alumni. Of course, we always welcome you back to continue your education with us. Please remain seated until the color guard, Hodges University, staff and students leave the room.